What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Battlehawks Show. Week 9 is in the books. We are about to head into the final week of the UFL season and our St. Louis Battlehawks regular season. We're heading to DC to take on the Defenders, who just lost to the Roughnecks, Roughnecks are showing a little bit of fire too late, if you do ask me. A little bit late to the party there, boys. But great win, which basically seals us the division, I think. No, because if they beat us next week, we'll be tied, and then they'll have 2 wins over us in the division. So this is going to be the second time this season we're going to be playing them. And it looks like we'll be playing them a third time in the playoffs in the Battle Dome in 2 weeks, June 8th. In the Battle Dome. Yeah. Going to be crazy. Should be packed. I'm hoping for close to 40,000. Yes, we did have a tornado downtown. Pretty rough on the city. But go ahead and go and show up. Get your mind off things. Be distracted from the hard times that you're going through and the community is going through. It's affordable, and it's a great atmosphere to be around. All great people. Like I said, welcome back to another episode of the Battlehawks Show. Your go-to source for all things Battlehawks. Again, I'm Jordan, and we are diving into the Battlehawks commanding 39-13 victory over the San Antonio Brahmas in Week 9. Now, let's break down how St. Louis secured their 5th consecutive win, which is huge, 5 in a row, and what it means for their playoffs. What it means for their playoff spot. All right. So, game overview, basically, what we're going into here. On Friday night, the Battlehawks showcased their dominance. At the Battle Dome, of course, a home game, the crowd show up. It was nice. Don't know the exact attendance record. I believe it was around 27,890, maybe to be exact. This victory improved St. Louis record to 7-2, like I said, which is great. 5 wins in a row. That's huge. After our 2 wins, 2 losses, and then 5 in a row has been great. Keeping them atop now in first place of the XFL Conference standings. This game was marked by a balanced offensive attack, and a stiff defense. St. Louis accumulated 402 total yards, with both starting and backup players contributing significantly. Basically, they took half the starters out at halftime. Duggan came out. Sailors came out a little bit earlier. Hopefully he's healthy. Brandon Silvers came into this game wearing number 18, okay? Looking like little old Peyton Manning up there. I only say that because Peyton Manning's one of my all-time favorite quarterbacks. All right. But wow. We're just not used to seeing this season, especially since Manny went down at the beginning of the year. But Silvers can throw the ball, and that's great. Get my flag in there that I got from the Battlehawks game. Heroes. Hell yeah, support the troops. Anyway, Memorial Weekend was nice. And sad at the same time, remembering all the people that we lost in the military fighting for our freedom and what we can do today. I can do this today because of them. So thank you to everybody that served. Anyway, Brandon Silvers, like I said, wow. We'll go over stats here in a little bit, but he came in and was throwing the ball and looking great. Throwing it accurately. Like, I'm sorry, Max, but like we might have something going on here. Like if Max goes down, I got a lot of confidence. Silvers, I mean, okay, yeah, it's against the Brahmas. Okay, they're not that great. Looking at their record, 1-8. I mean, come on. We've booty slapped them every time we've faced them this season. Beginning of the year, now end of the year, they've been getting booty slapped all season long. Like I said, the score 39-13 says it all. Really, they scored one touchdown, couple field goals, I think, maybe one, two field goals. Yeah, because I don't think they got their extra point. But Max, he looks good. He looked great overall. He had some struggles. Man, dude, he had a lot of balls underthrown. And it was really upsetting watching. Like, they've talked about his throw before, how it looks like a baseball throw. He, like, comes down really far and then throws it, and I think that's really hurting him. He needs to learn to come straight back with it and just, boom, just launch it. Who am I, though, right? An armchair quarterback, right? Armchair, couch, fantasy, yeah. Anyway, which NFL season is right around the corner as well. That's super exciting. I think I'm going to do a Raiders podcast, but that's for another time. Anyway, our defense dominated. I say it every week. They looked great. We had a fumble return for a touchdown, huge in the second quarter. But they did run the ball all over us this game. I don't know. We played a lot of man, and for some reason, it just really hurt us. Let's see here. O-line struggled, but looked better, a little better. He had Silvers in there, and he was throwing the ball everywhere. Oh, so O-line looked a little better. Opened up the run game a little bit more for Howard. Howard looked good. Butler had some great catches. But yeah, other than that, it was a great game to be at. I mean, it was an ass kicking. It was a senseless, pointless game. Honestly, didn't really mean anything because even if we would have lost, DC lost, and we'd be facing them next week, and then it'd be the same scenario. You know, if they won, we lost. If we won, they lost. Which they lost, we won. But if it was the other way around, it'd be the same way. If we beat them next week, then we'd be tied, and it wouldn't matter anyway because it's a home game, playoff game for St. Louis. Because apparently their field they play on is like a soccer field, and it's taken up for something. I don't know if it's graduation or a game or whatever, but yeah. So it'll be here, and yeah, I'm hoping closer to 40,000. Bring a friend, bring a couple friends. Tickets are cheap. Gonna be honest, it's not bad. I'm paid $40 and I'm front row. I mean, that it's my season ticket spot, but still, $40 front row. I mean, you can't beat that for a spring football team. But I mean, come on, it's yeah. We can go over some players of the game, key performers to our victorious run of 5 in a row. But that's not what the stats are about. It's about this game, obviously. But a victorious game, 39-13. Max Duggan led the offense officially in the first half, connecting with Frank Darby for a nice 16-yard touchdown pass just before halftime. Went right in. It was real nice. I mean, we were just dominant. Max was dominant, but he was underthrowing a lot of balls. He really was. Peasy actually had some positive yardage, which we'll go over. Brandon Silvers maintained the momentum, throwing a 22-yard touchdown bomb to Hakeem, who was wide open. Oh, dude, he pump faked this guy, this cornerback who was on Hakeem, and he took that bait like no other, left Hakeem wide open right in front of us. If you pause it, I wish I could pull it up. God, I wish I could pull it up. I need to figure out how to do this stuff and show the photo, but you can see us right there. I got this hat on, actually. In our Battlehawks stuff with my group, and we're just right there, just celebrate. It was awesome. That was early in the fourth quarter, and then a standout defensive play came by Michael Abraham, who returned a fumble for 70 yards for a touchdown. It was nasty. It really was. But that came in the second quarter, extending the Battlehawks lead. That was crazy. Players of the game, Michael Abraham on that touchdown. Hakeem Butler with some clutch pass or catches. And then Silvers, man. Silvers look good. Bro, watch out. Watch out, Max. I mean, yeah, you're our boy. You're our number one. We're committed to it, but you keep taking a beating like you are. Hey, man, put Silvers in. He can sling the ball. That first pass to Butler, it was on the money, dude. On the money, right? I was like, okay, we got something here. We got something here. So on top of that, let's go ahead and go over where's my stats from this week. All right, let's get into the game stats here, shall we? All right. Like I said, again for the third time, 39-13 victory. Improved your St. Louis Battlehawks to 7-2, 3-2 in the division. San Antonio drops to 1-8 and 1-4 in the division. I think they beat DC, which is hilarious. So I kind of hope we smack them around this next game, but we'll see. Hey, either way, we got them in the playoffs in the Dome. Our most electrifying quarter was the second quarter. We scored 18. They scored 10. It was booming. It was back and forth. It was killing it. And then, yeah, we scored a field goal in the first, a field goal in the third, and then 15 in the fourth for a astounding fourth time, I'm going to say it, 39-13 victory. Our offense looked great. Max Duggan, 12 for 17, 133 yards, 1 touchdown. QBR rating of 113, 70% completion percentage. Was great. Okay, and those 5 passes that he dropped were way underthrown, not even close. It was kind of worrisome. So, I mean, he looks like he was better. I mean, he was 70% completion. 12 for 17, you're like, why are you complaining about 12 for 17? I'm not complaining. I'm just saying the balls that he did miss were terrible. And he didn't have he had some pressure in his face, but not a lot. Brandon Silver comes in, goes 7 for 10 for 100 yards, a touchdown. All right. 70% completion percentage. Both of our quarterbacks combined went 19 for 27, 233 yards for 2 touchdowns. San Antonio Brahmas, Kellen Mond, 12 for 26, 103 yards. 14 for 26, my bad. No touchdowns, no interception. QBR rating of 63, a 53 completion percentage on the day for him. Our rushing leader was actually one of our backups, Ladius, number 25, 8 for 66 with 1 score. Howard, 12 attempts for 60 in the score. Sailors came out a little early before halftime, so he might be hurt. I really hope he's not. But we have guys stepping up that hopefully do step up. He went 6 for 33. Max didn't really do a lot of running on the ground this game. He went 1 for 6. Brandon Silvers tried running, but went for -4 yards. We had 32 attempts for 169, 2 scores on the ground. Their leading rusher was Corbin, 14 for 85, 1 touchdown. I believe he had a fumble as well, I think. Aiden Robbins, 7 for 24. They had 28 rushes for 139 yards and 1 score on the ground. Receiving, Ja'Cour Pearson led the day for once in his career. I got to look up his total receiving stats for the year. He might have the most catches, but he definitely does not have anywhere close to the most yards. He had like 5 games where he was leading the team in catches, but had like 25 yards. 6 catches, 71 yards, no touchdowns, 9 targets. Dropped 3 of them, but a lot of those weren't his fault. Hakeem Butler, 5 for 66 with a beautiful wide open score. Blake Jackson played really good, 2 for 42 with 3 targets, no score. Frank Darby, 2 for 23, 2 targets, caught both of them. One of them was a score. Beautiful. Jacob Sailors, 2 for 15. And then everybody else was 1 catch or none for under 10 yards. We had 19 receptions for 233 yards, 2 touchdowns through the air. It was beautiful. Their leading receiver, Jonte Kirkland, 5 for 44. They had no touchdowns through the air. Marquez Stevenson, 3 for 20. D. Anderson, 2 for 12. Everybody else had one catch or none for under 10 yards. They had 14 catches for 103 yards. Terrible through the air. Terrible for them. I know I said earlier they ran all over us, but they kind of did. They had 3 receivers that are rushers, like I said. Four of them for 139 yards. They did kind of run all over. They had some big rushes. They really did. That was the offense. Let's look into the defense. Battlehawks had, I don't think we had an interception. No. We had 1 sack. They had no sacks. Again, I think these stats are correct. I'm not 100% sure. Tackle for losses, we had 2. They had 4. Forced fumbles, we had 1. Recovered 1. They had 1. Recovered 1. That was basically it on defense, but our defense played better, obviously. Rodrigo Blankenship, 2 for 2, 100% on the day. Only hit a long of 23. Tristan, I'm not even going to say it, Vizcaino, 2 for 2, 100%. 30 was the long for the day. We had no punt. We did not punt this game. No punt. No punts. That's crazy. And we had 1 punt. They had 2 punts for 84 yards. That dude, that Brad Wing, can wing it, man. Ja'Cour Pearson had 1 return for 13 yards. They had, hold up. Where's the kickoff returns? Yeah. Brahmas. When I say they ran all over us, kick return yards. Jaden Schrindine. 3 returns for 150 yards. He returned 1 back for 86 yards. He didn't score, of course. Our guy tracked him down and pushed him and threw him out of bounds. John Shea Kirkland, 2 returns for 71 yards. Corbin, 2 returns for 38 yards. They had 8 returns for 282 yards. They averaged 35 yards a return for kick returns. That's going to be a problem. Don't let that happen again, especially in the playoff game. Which brings me to my next question. All right, after looking at all that. So, anyway, my next question. How many starters play this week, DC and Battlehawks game? How many starters play? Is this a meaningless game? We're both already clinched the playoff spot. It doesn't matter. Home field is already clinched from St. Louis, technically. But if somehow DC wins this game, they might be the home field advantage on paper, not location. Because we will have dome field advantage. Dome field advantage. Because it's going to be in St. Louis. Regardless of any outcome, what happens this next week's game. This weekend's game. Regardless. Doesn't matter. So, do you start your starters in the first half? The first quarter? Do you not start them at all? Do you give them a break? I would not give them a full break. What if you played them late in the game? What if you played them second half? Do you do that, or do you let them do their natural routine, play the whole first half, and then sit them second half, regardless of what's going on? You could do that. You play them the first quarter, let them sit. What do you do? I can't wait to see Silvers play this game. If Silvers is that man, our receivers are going to love it. Now, do you sit your receivers? You didn't sit your receivers in the second half of this past game. Butler, Ja'Cour, they all stayed in the game. So, what do we do? You know what I mean? I can't wait to see how it goes. But either way, like I said, I think this game might be another meaningless game. I mean, kind of. I don't think either team's going to show anything special for, like, you want to bring out the playoffs that you haven't brought out all season that you've maybe been saving in your back pocket. I don't know. I guess we'll see this weekend. I guess, you know what I mean? Let's see. I got some turning points here. We can go over some turning points. Just trying out some new segments here. The game momentum shifted, basically. I mean, there was no game momentum. That's just what I have written down here. Decisively in the second quarter when Abrams got that 70-yard return fumble. I mean, that basically shifted. And that put the Battlehawks ahead 15-0. I mean, as soon as that happened, you're like, okay, yeah, this game is over. I mean, it really is, theoretically, if you keep playing like this. Despite the Brahmas efforts, including a 10-yard rushing touchdown by Corbin, they couldn't overcome the deficit. St. Louis defense tightened in the second half, limiting San Antonio to just a field goal after halftime, which was great. That was the turning point, basically, of the game. And then I do have some post-game audio from your St. Louis Battlehawks head coach, Anthony Beck, after the game, courtesy of the St. Louis Battlehawks, courtesy of the XFL Battlehawks, new Eric Cap courtesy as well. This was the locker room speech after the game, courtesy of the St. Louis Battlehawks. This is Anthony Beck on a 5-game winning streak. Here we go.
How about the offense, How about
defensive touchdown.
How about the defense holding the 3 points?
Defense holding him to 3 points in the second half.
Congratulations, man. It's a way to come out dominant. Effort. All right, energy. 1, 2. Was it Chris Farley? We took it to him. Yeah. All right, we got to finish the deal. 1 down, 3 down. 1 down, 3 down. Because of the shooting. Hard on 3. 1, 2, 3.
That was after game locker room talk for your St. Louis Battlehawks. All right. So from around the league, let's see here, league standings is updated. Week 9 officially. Standings update. Here we go. Your St. Louis Battlehawks sitting alone at the top at 7-2. Birmingham at 6-3. Michigan at 6-3. DC at 6-3. Those are your 4 playoff teams. St. Louis versus DC in 2 weeks, and then Birmingham at Michigan, or Michigan at Birmingham in 2 weeks as well. And then you got Arlington at 4-5. Houston at 4-5. Houston's got hot at the wrong time of the year. Memphis at 2-7, and San Antonio at the bottom of the boat at 1-8. Not good, not good. Week 9 scores around the league. Battlehawks 39-13 for the 6th time. I'm keeping track. I don't know why. Renegades, Showboats 30-12. Renegades, Panthers, Stallions. Stallions came up on top 26-22. And the Houston Roughnecks, shout out to the Rig Rocker out there. They upset the DC Defenders, but I think they sat their starters as well, but they still lost 24-21. That was around the league. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful week of UFL football. And another post game, the interim Brahmas coach acknowledged that the team struggles, stating defensively we have a lot to improve on. We have to tackle better. We had way too many unnecessary penalties. Obviously, the puck stops with me. The buck stops with me. On the Battlehawks side, the team focus remains on maintaining their momentum heading into the final week of the regular season. Playoff implications. With this win, like I said, I'm going over it, but I have it written down, so we're going over it. With this win, the Battlehawks secure their position at the top of the XFL Conference at 7-2. Their final regular season game is against DC next week and will determine playoff seeding, home field advantage, blah, 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 on paper. It's already in St. Louis, which is amazing. And the Brahmas now 1-8 will look to finish their season on a positive note in their upcoming matchup against the Renegades, who should poop on them heavily. But other than that, that's all I got. This went a little bit longer than I expected, but that is okay. That wraps up my Week 9 recap. The Battlehawks continue to soar, and the playoffs are within reach, which we're already clinched, and we're going to be there. Be sure to subscribe to the Battlehawks Show and all the latest updates and analysts followed on social media right here at the Battlehawks Show. And make sure you follow us on YouTube at St. Louis Sports. That's where you'll find all your St. Louis sports, all of ours. There's Blues Note, which will come back around during the Blues season. We got the Cardinal Show, which is all Cardinal talk, and that season's going on now. And we're just starting up Talking the Gridiron. Make sure you follow that as well on YouTube. But until next time, my name is Jordan, and call. Do not forget that call is the law. See you.